since I was last here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has happened, but it's little shit. It's little tedious shit. I have like a process. I really try to just start putting stuff together. I check all the clearances, make sure everything's right, make sure all the hardware's clean, make sure everything's new looking, everything's lining up like it should. Even though we did this, I don't even know how many times. For some reason, after you pull it apart with the old hardware, now powder coating, you have different clearances, you have different fittings just to make the sway bar fit. Man, I had to ream it out to get the plastic guides in there. And then they powder coated the teeth on the splines for the sway bar arms. And so now I had to sit there with a little file to each one of those little teeth. You know what I mean? I can't just. So I got one on. I'm working on getting the other one on. I'm in the process of installing all the brake lines right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I kind of there's like 4 or 5 different ways you can go about it, and I'm trying to figure out the easiest way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, and yes. I mean, I'm just to clarify, you're trying to figure out the easiest way, not as a scapegoat type of way, but the easiest, most seamless way for it to be accessible and used on the car and to look good, everything combined.
And easy, just simple. Yes. So when someone looks at it, they're like, oh, wow, that's simple. If you ever had to work on it, oh, this is simple.
Yes.
Here's this fitting here, this fitting here. Here's a residual valve here, a check valve here, a check valve there, everywhere a check valve. Here, a check valve, there, a check valve.
Everywhere a check, yeah.
Everywhere a check valve. May check valve.
Yes.
Check.
What is this? Is this a support for?
That's the transmission mount.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is. It's an old transmission mount.
I don't remember seeing that in before.
That's because I basically built it the day before it went to powder coating and everything.
Oh.
Okay. It was kind of all pieced together and tacked together, and then I finally put it all on. And just because we kept playing with the position of the motors, you know, and everything, I just wanted to make sure that that's where it was going to go. So brake lines are one of my favorite things to do.
Really?
Yeah, I like doing brake lines for some reason, but I also like them perfectly straight, parallel, perfect bends. It's not an easy task. I have old school method to what I do. Most guys I'll watch do it now. They have all new fucking fancy tools that sit there and do it for them, I guess, but I still use all my old hand bent stuff, and I could run a brake line from the front that goes up into the cab to the master with a residual check valve and a proportioning valve to here, and then have a hose that goes down to a line that's on the axle, and so the axle moves with the hose, okay? Because you gotta have a flex line because all this moves. Or I can come from there to a T, I can come up here with a fitting. Usually I'll come up and around and I'll have a fitting right here underneath, and it goes to a hose goes to each wheel. I'll do the same on each side. So,
is there a benefit to one way or the other? Or does it really not make a difference?
No, totally. Because these flex lines are only so long. So if this got huge travel, I'd have to have a 24-inch flex line here that would be all getting caught up into the wheels. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep it as short as possible. Go with the play you have. I think I'm just gonna do like my traditional and just put a mount on each side and come off to each caliper with the flex line. It's a little bit more work, but it works better. It's easier to work with. And I really don't have that much to strap my brake line to on this axle. So I'll go ahead and start with this. I think I'll put my T right around here. The other thing why I haven't hustled on this and made serious moves is because you know how much space we have right here between the battery box and the chassis, and there is none. So I don't want to as we're setting the body on hang up on one of my brake lines. So I'm gonna try and run them as low as possible along the bottom of the chassis until I get back here, and then I'll probably come up, go straight, and then curve it under to my little bracket right here.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot how close that is. You're literally, it's going to be just about the size of the brake line, like just that width.
Yep.
Which means that when you lower it down, it's got to be dead center. Oh.
On both sides too,
Yeah.
the outside too, there's
Yep.
not much room.
Yep.
There's a little bit, but again, you want to be able to service whatever mechanical stuff you can. You want to be able to get to the brake lines
Without taking the body off.
without taking the body off. So
Ideally, yeah.
there's a lot to think about when you're doing it, you know what I mean? So I'm just thinking before I start bending and wasting material.